It's a beautiful Monday morning here on Just Siri, and we welcome you to the last Monday and the last week of July. We have about 157 days till the end of 2025, and every new day left means we still have time to make 2025 count. We're back, refreshed, recharged, and ready to roll into a new week of bold conversations, inspiring stories, and unapologetic energy and finesse. But wait, not all of us are refreshed and recharged, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, this week we're taking and talking everything from people shaking up parenting culture to interviewing legends, to conversations with women building purpose beyond the spotlights. And of course, we will also be keeping our ears and our eyes on the headlines that matter. So whatever kind of Monday you're having, let Just Siri set the tone for the week. You know how we do it.
But first,
before the but first. How was the weekend?
I was waiting for
There was a but first before the but first. How was the weekend?
Oh, I do not understand. It seems as if the weekend is shortened spiritually. Because, what's happened? Hey, witches.
You're talking about the weekend.
Honestly, I was tired. I don't know. I did sleep on my bed on Saturday. You know, I hate every weekend when I have nothing to do and I just have that pocket of rest time. It still feels as if everybody's working but me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I went out with my kids on Sunday. We had like a family party. One of my sons had his baby dedication. So we went from church. Then I hadn't seen one of my industry daughter's baby too. So, but it was on the way. So we had to stop by. You know, when you have growing adults in your house, it doesn't feel like an outing. Yeah. It feels like a forced getaway. Everybody just had this phone thingy. So I was not feeling like the mother trying to engage her children. Hey, I look here. Hey, everybody. Hey. I beg, me that grow come out.
Do you know, and I remember this when I was growing up, but I think they will benefit in the long run. Because it's a way also of establishing connections with people. So when we were younger, we'd be like, why are they always dragging us? In fact, you asked me, where are you always going? My mom would say, one day, my dad is always, you know, they're always celebrating with people.
And you know your parents were pastors, so somebody's dedication mom has to be there. If she's not there, that is maybe, oh my God.
I suffer for it. They missed a lot of my own events.
I know.
But I think, you know, that's the kind of community that they built. And we're struggling. A lot of us don't build that community. We don't really show up anymore for people. So we're going to do things, and we're not having people to show. What did our mothers tell us? I'll go so that when it's my time. But that community building, I think, is missing.
No, now we just throw money at it.
You know, I stay in your room and you slide the hashtag.
Yeah, I do miss it. Although, again, there's also the financial constraint, because a lot of times you would have to weigh the options. Someone is saying to come and do Ashwebi in Kafanchan, and you're wondering, what if I just sent the money, like half of the money I was supposed to spend?
That will use,
I miss it, because I remember when my mom used me as her catalog. You know, she was a fashion designer, so she would make nice dresses for herself, and the remaining ones she will sew for me. Something. I don't know who is getting married, but I must wear the clothes and follow her. And I miss that, because then I was able to like go for weddings, attend events. I didn't even know who was getting married. So when I get there, I'll be, oh, okay, is this too? Oh, congratulations.
But I enjoyed that. It was, you know, olden days. It's different. It's a little different now. Especially a little, I'll be a lot different.
So even just the part that Blessings mentioned in terms of the Ashwebi, we've taken this whole Ashwebi thing to just a completely different level where the pressure is so much. People are literally opting out. They just say, I'm not going to be around, because they feel that if they buy it and they don't sew these extravagant styles, or they don't come correct, or they don't go and spend 50,000 on makeup, that they're not going, they feel out.
Let me not even lie to you. You will feel out. There are some places that I don't bother going, because if I'm going to go, it's either I'm going to go correct, or I'm not going to go and not be seen. Look at, even now, even the littlest of parties. Yesterday, I forgot to carry my spraying purse. It paid me die. I've forgotten, you know, how it used to be when you go for parties, which is just a house party. It didn't get into my mind. But I'm a bit dysfunctional as an Ijebu girl. I do not like Owambes. So it's not a culture thing.
You need to change your behavior, change your ways.
Maybe when I enter my 60s, I'll really try.
In fact, you'll not be the 60-year-old grandma and mother.
Big ups to Tino Ade, Tino Alawa. That's my bestie. She's the one that even helped me. Last year, I had to make a conscious desire that I will tie more geles this year. And I've been making effort to really, you know, tie gele and go for all this kind of Owambes.
You can catch me outside.
Spray at everything. Even a baby's 1 year. They sent it
you're helping
for
the
money
parents.
to rain into a carton
Yes, now
or
you're helping the
something.
parents recoup what they spent, or also in some places you're helping the parents set up an account for the baby. Because I
Well,
remember when we
true
got a
that.
lot of money from that's what was in her account because some people dipped into it.
Doesn't your mommy do that? That they say, Mama, you're working there, told you.
It doesn't work for this generation, no.
Yeah, all my children have accounts.
Cody's
As the
eyes
money
are-
dropping, let me say, Mommy, are you going to help me put in my account so I can see the alert?
Wow.
I'll be
Me
like,
that I had to open bank accounts with my mom before I could even take my own money
Your
out.
own money.
Because I started working at 14. My state allowed me to work at 14. Before I could take my own money out, my mom had to sign as well. It's not working for this generation.
Not
but
at
my
all.
parents are in town. I think that's why I'm tired.
Abi, are you so happy?
I'm happy, but
You get to spoil Reverend and Reverend Mrs.
there's an age your parents get to that they revert to being
No,
children.
that is it, Tolu.
Oh.
They are children now. Because they don't have the energy they used to have. You have to repeat a lot of things. They don't really understand half of the things you're saying. So you have to really dig into your patience, especially when your parents are above 70.
Oh.
It's not going to be easy, trust me.
We've already had
It's
like
not.
2 fights this weekend already.
That's it. They don't know how you do your own
So I'm
things.
gonna just leave. It's just.
Thank God that
2 fights this weekend.
Agorotemi is going before you people.
He has
so
helped
you,
us.
so you not use wahala to
At
kill him.
myself for the next few days.
Let him take cocoa with him.
Watching your parents age.
It's not easy to
And then
do.
they revert to being like
Children.
children. And because they're reverting to being like children, I said that time, because they understood how they are the adults, or that at
Yeah.
one point they were the full adult. There's a stubbornness that comes when you're telling them things. And these people are 1G up with me, they're arguing.
Oh, so
Oh
they
my
argue.
goodness
Gracious.
I
But
didn't
it
sleep
takes
this weekend.
patience. It takes a lot of love,
It
you know, to be
does.
able to pour back into them,
them
because
at this
when they
time.
had strength, they poured into you 100%. Tolu's mom could bake a storm.
I'm
Tolu's
telling
wedding,
you.
if you see the way we ate, like greedy fools, there was akara and pap, there was yam and egg sauce, there was bread. We that came in the morning, I didn't have to leave early. I didn't even miss the party at all. I just binge on everything. And you know, that's how Tolu grew up. So when I see Tolu being able to just cook, I always thank God for Mama, because they helped. She taught her baking, you know, making sauces and all that. So big up to you, Mama. We love you.
No, I have to be the one. And then also, it's my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. Now we're doing celebration. My mother-in-law, I wish I had done the pictures, but fantastic. So I want to just
Are you
give
not
a
giving
very...
her a party?
She's in Canada now. Oh. She'll be back, so we're working on it. You know we talked.
Yeah.
So happy 70th birthday to my mother-in-law, Funke Ariyo. She's an absolute blessing. Raised fantastic gentlemen and one absolutely gorgeous daughter that is my sister-in-law. I absolutely love her. Just had a baby as well, so that's why she's not around. But mommy, we love you.
We love you,
Thank
Mommy.
you so much for everything you do. Happy 70th, Mommy.
And she looks good.
She does. I posted a picture today. Someone was asking me, is Mommy 60? I said 60. She's 70. 70. And funny enough, they tell me I look like my mother-in-law.
You somehow,
Are you serious?
in a
Oh, you have-
particular way.
Mind your business.
I'll tell you
but
after the
first.
show.
Okay, but well, I've already done a lot of firsts, but then let's give it up for the On Saturday, the whole of Nigeria was collectively rejoicing as our very own Super Falcons claimed their 10th Women's Africa Cup of Nations title. And trust me when I say the pride, oh loud. Our office group was also on fire. Now, the Super Falcons pulled off an epic comeback in Rabat to defeat host Morocco in a 3-2 final. When I say epic comeback, as in from 2-0 to 3-2, they were not joking.
The hypertension was too much.
Honestly, Super Falcons, you've done it again. Mission X completed. The team showed up from the beginning and indeed showed out till the end, showing the world once again why they're not just players, they're powerhouses. This wasn't just a game, it was a moment for every young girl watching, for every Nigerian woman who's ever been told she couldn't, and for a country that needed a reason to celebrate. The Falcons didn't just bring home the trophy, they reminded us what winning with grace, grit, and girl power looks like. And this is I would say first, the 10th of many more to come. So congratulations, Super Falcons, from all of us on Just Siri.
Yeah, it was just amazing to watch, and that part about giving the country a reason to celebrate.
Yeah.
We need it. We were in the midst of so much.
Just see
coming back from 2-2 down, and then dominating and winning, not even ending up at penalties, and they've won every single match they've played at this WAFCON. The girls deserve this, and so the ladies' girls deserve this, and so much more. The president reached out to them. But before we play a bit of what the president had, our correspondent, you're going to love this, our correspondent, Oye Obaru, who's been covering it, became a meme in our, I'm the one who asked for it. She became a meme in our office group, but this video will show you why. Take a look. See play.
That's true. I didn't know. I just noticed that Swan was beside. Oh, look at the I love it. Oh my God.
I think this would be the second time that I would see Onye and Swan, because I mean the whole match was intriguing to me. When what's her name again? I'm trying to remember her name. Gabriela Salgado had that injury. Oh my goodness, it was such an emotional moment, because I saw how even the Nigerian players
they were being taken aback.
And I think it was Swan and Onye that started the chant, because they started hailing Salgado when they were taking her out. And then it was just so emotional.
And then we saw the team go to visit her in the hospital as well. That's even sports.
It was really.
And this is one of the things they talk about when you talk about kids being involved in sports and all those things. There are a lot of life lessons, and there are a lot of there's character building that you find in sports. And
that camaraderie. And you know, I watch football in a weird way, because I won't lie to you, it makes my blood pressure go up. So I walk from the other room. They'll be playing in the living room. I walk by the atmosphere. When I hear, see, what the playback, and I'm back, because it's always so intense.
I don't know how guys sit down Sunday after Sunday, weekend after weekend, during football season to be raising it. I'll be minding my business. I remember one of the first times Corday was scared as a baby was when her father shouted goal when Arsenal was winning. I was like, you're scaring my child. Chokotani. Like, what is going on?
How men do it? Why? See, I would be so scared.
I couldn't even watch. I couldn't. I only watched the aftermath.
I was watching via the
right here. Once I hear go, I'll check. See the playback. I'll go back to my room, lock the door.
Honestly,
the president also spoke to them. Let's see if we can get that clip for you, and then of course we will be moving on.
The pictures when we win.
Very, very happy.
Thank you, sir.
You'll be celebrated, and I congratulate all the coaches and the management of the team, including the ministers and the officials.
Thank you, sir.
Esther, Chande, Jennifer.
Thank you, sir.
Very best regards to Rashida. Very good, and I watched the penalty kick. That's a very courageous exercise.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
To set the record of victories is not a very small thing.
Yes, sir.
For the country.
So if you know what, I'm really raz inside. If you know the song I wanted to sing, Atileri Pama Luopa, Pata Pata, Atileri Pama Luopa, Pata Pata. We used to sing in those days.
So that's, and it really pained that this is also the first lady apparently watching the game as well. in her kitchen.
Yeah, with the big TV.
It really pained a lot of people that the supporters club wasn't able to come out fully because of the visa issue. But as we went from different game to game, it was Nigerians and then even other African countries that were supporting the Super Falcons. So I heard that they're supposed to meet the president today, either today or tomorrow. And it's not just meeting the president. They're coming in today, and then they will meet the president sometime shortly afterwards. But it's not just about winning. It's not just about meeting the president. We know what Nigeria has often offered the Super Eagles. These are, okay, they're winning a $1 million prize, fantastic. But what is the country also doing for them? Yeah. These are the most decorated football team on the continent, male or female. I want to see a parade. I want to see fanfare. I want to see 1998, 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2010, 2014, 2016, 2018. 2024.
Now 2020.
Nigeria needs to show up and show out for these women when they come back to the country. Let them know they're national heroes.
We want you on Jasiri, girls.
I think even beyond celebrating them as a group, as Super Falcons, like what are they doing for them individually? I mean, these women have phenomenal stories. I was watching Alozier's video, found out that she works in a cancer research center, beauty and brains. You know, like I'm just so fascinated by these ladies, and it shouldn't be just when they represent us and then win, and the whole country is riled up about it. What are we doing for them? I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, this is also a game that wears on the body. So they're putting their mental, not health, but they're putting their mental into it. They're putting their physical into it. They're putting everything into it. And over again, they've honestly delivered for Nigeria. So once again, congratulations to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We are exceedingly, exceedingly proud of you. Honestly, they gave Nigerians something to smile about this weekend, and we absolutely love it. It's definitely something that we'll be following closely as they meet the president and come back, hopefully, to amazing fanfare in Nigeria. And then also forget, it's a fantastic weekend for Nigerian women in sports because the Nigerian Queens continue their unbeaten streak at the 2025 Afro-Basket with a win over Rwanda. That's Nigeria's senior women's basketball team.
This is women's season, guys.
The Tigers are on the prowl.
I love it because they're women. And, half of the time, we've seen what the continent what Nigeria has done when it comes to male football. But when it comes to the female, a lot needs to be done somewhere, especially when women are delivering. You can't just tell me because it's male football that dominates, and that's why women are they just put them under the radar, see they don't deserve the limelight. This time around, I hope they do better.
Yeah, we look forward to them doing better. All right, we're going to go for a quick time out now. When we come back, we got more stories for you. Stay with us.
Yeah. Welcome back to the most amazing show that is showing on television presently. You're still watching Jasiri, and it's on New Central Television. In our very first hot topic, what happens when your personal belief meets national policy? Two former NYSC corps members, Blessing Ogunjobi and Vivian Ayuba, challenged the NYSC over its uniform rule. Listed as respondents in the suits were the National Youth Service Corps and the Director General of the NYSC. In their application, they argued that they were being forced to wear trousers which went against their Christian faith. They also specifically quoted the Bible passage, Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, which they interpret as a command against women wearing men's clothing. Well, the court listened and ruled in their favor. In a judgment delivered on
June 13th, the Federal High Court of Abuja declared that the NYSC's refusal to allow female corps members to wear skirts in observance of their religious beliefs violated their rights to freedom of religion and human dignity as guaranteed by Nigeria's constitution, therefore breaching the ladies' fundamental human rights. Now, Justice Hawa Yilwa ordered that NYSC must permit skirts for female corps members with genuine religious objections, that the two women should be recalled and issued their NYSC certificates, and that each be paid 500,000 naira in damages for the treatment they experienced during their service year. The court further declared that the harassment, embarrassment, and humiliation suffered by the applicants at the hands of the NYSC officials constituted a clear infringement of their fundamental right to religion and freedom to practice it. While both women had requested 10 million naira each, the court ruled that 500,000 naira was adequate. Now, this ruling has since sparked broader conversations. Let's hear what Nigerians have to say before we talk.
How do these people even think? Can you run, march, or other exercises with skirts? In fact, at this point, I don't know what to think about this country. If the law could accommodate core members wearing hijab, I figured it will also extend to those whose belief prohibits trousers for women. In years to come, traditionalists too will argue their cases in courts and permit aspects that conflict with NYSC rules. Okay, yeah, we've taken this.
Yeah.
Governments are making major reforms, legislating progressive laws, getting into progress that showcase them on the global stage, and doing their best to rep their nations on a higher level. Nigerian government is only into skit making and skirts making. Wow. Wow, that's a victory for my Christian sisters. I don't know if that wow was years of battle finally won. Thank God. So, ladies, when I saw this story on, I think, Saturday or Friday, I was like, it feels like an open door. I understand the concept of religious freedom. I understand the testing of our laws. You know, I've always told you, I think more people need to sue. We need to test our laws to help refine our laws. But after you've won this law now, you've won this case now, as that first tweet said, how do you run? How do you march? How do you do road work that we did? How do you climb? How do you go under that net that they made us all go under? Because I just feel like before we know it, this is going to lead to a form of exemption from them having to do aspects of what makes up the NYSC 3-week camp.
We're not going to have a wholesome experience.
Which should not,
definitely.
Which should not happen.
And I'm a Christian. And there are so many times that I see some things and I'm a bit confused. Do you know that in very cold climates, women wear stockings that they have to put their legs through, 2 holes under their skirts, even for those that are, you know, that belong to some extreme religious...
Long johns. I was looking for the name.
Long johns.
They're called long johns.
Yes, like amoks and like all this Amish. So is that not a form of putting your legs through something? So now if we do this, that means a lot of other openings are going to come out of it. And I always remind people that, sure, you remember that Christian and Muslim are not the only religion we have. There are other religions, traditional beliefs, some people do practice it. How about if somebody's religion says, I cannot wear T-shirt that is white? So that means the court will rule? No, because this is precedent. I'm a lawyer. So anybody that wants to sue NYSC now, this is a precedent for them. They can say that their religion, like a select person can say that they don't wear shoes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a bit confusing. And now they're going to say, oh, well, if Muslims can wear hijab. I don't think hijab. Now there are so many Muslim athletes, and they found so many clever ways to, you know, accommodate their Islamic religion. Have people seen Islamic bathing suits?
Yeah.
That actually look like a dress made of some very unique material that even doesn't allow water penetrate and cling. Well,
so my thing is, I mean, from the onset, I think I probably would have a challenge if the trousers were imposed on people. Because, I mean, of course, people are allowed to wear hijab, so it's arguable that you should also be allowed to do whatever. But my own concern is, let's not now get to the place where we want to go under that this thing, or want to jump, then you now say you cannot jump. You have to find a way around it, because since you want to participate, right? Because I think
it's not even a want.
Is it not a right?
You almost have to participate.
You have to, exactly. So since you have to participate, you have to find a way around it. If you say that you cannot jump because you're wearing skirt, whose fault? You are the one who's wearing skirt. Do you understand? So I think that the ruling should have been centered around whether or not, okay, fine, if they can't wear this, maybe they shouldn't be made to participate altogether.
Then that means they need to be exempted from
exactly. So is that exemption that I don't want?
Because but if it is their choice, that means they would not be able to perform the NYSC, the 3 weeks mandatory paramilitary exercise. So if that is an exemption, then that means they should put it as a law. Like if you're a Christian and you don't want to wear trousers, you don't need to come for the 3 weeks thing. Just go to your, maybe go on with your NYSC.
Is that fair to everybody? Because the judge talks about it being genuine religious objections or exemptions. What makes one person's religious exemption or religious objection more genuine than the others? And let me tell you, from camp to camp, from state to state, you're also going to see a difference in how this ruling is applied. I think there's a lot that needs to be questioned or queried about it. I understand it in terms of religious freedoms and the testing of our laws as our society changes, but I think there's a lot more to it. And even the Deuteronomy that they're quoting, it's a part of the Old Testament conversation. We don't want to get it's a part of the Old Testament that's a very controversial part of the Old Testament. Because men wore skirts.
But even in those
context to it. This thing was practically for people who are not your people. Who are people who are not in the same time and space you are. There are ways in which the Bible still fits into the modern times. And there are conversations around, does this still contextually mean the same thing? But you know why the New Testament came? Because all things have passed away and all things have been made new.
If you're trying to be laws, there's so many things, but to lose compliance, you're wearing one single material. You're not supposed to combine things.
My hair is not compliant. And even your jewelry. My jewelry is not compliant.
So,
but that's not true.
So the argument here will now be this bias that they've created, because in my opinion, that's what it is. You have created a bias. And if we are looking at the widest spectrum of religion, is it the spiritual? No, not even, no, like the widest spectrum, different kinds, are those who are not Christians or Muslims. Because I can wake up and say I worship ropes and I'm not supposed to jump over them.
Yes.
Will you now say that I must?
How about Indians that worship cow?
Exactly.
And they say they can't
anybody
eat meat.
can now start coming out and say, oh, I worship this, I'm not supposed to do this. Like you said, people that don't wear shoes, why do I have to kit up and wear the shoe? And if anything happens to their feet, it's your problem. Do you get? So it's quite dicey, honestly.
I like the fact that they've gotten some kind of ruling. From what court said?
And then 10 million.
No, they sued for 10 million.
Yeah,
but
no, I know. Like, that's what I'm saying.
That the 500,000 reach their hand.
So it's interesting to hear. I'm expecting to hear some kind of statement from the NYSC. You can't just keep quiet on this. If
NYSC can actually appeal it.
Yes, of course, because it's the Federal High Court. It might go all the way to the Supreme Court. Because it just, how feasible is it physically in what you're supposed to do in those 3 weeks?
I've seen a lot of,
so these are the same ones that are going to want to play sports, right? Remember the white thing we used to wear for sports? They're going to want to play sports. Are you going to wear a white top and a white skirt?
I have seen a lot of my Christian sisters that belong to a particular sect of Christianity that do these things. You see that they will stand off and wear their skirts in a pious manner and stay away while you sinners run and escape and do a lot of things.
And let's not forget, because now many people are interested in these activities. And then if the officials don't see it fit, maybe they just don't think that it will be appealing to every other person to watch you run like that, and they sideline you. It's another problem, because they'll not say, oh, because of my religious belief, I'm not allowed.
I think they should appeal. I'm going to come back to the controversy of Deuteronomy.
I think they should appeal.
It's still the same Deuteronomy that
so
talks
except
about
the court is going to make that statement that Tolu said, an omnibus law, that if you're of the Christian descent that does not wear trousers, you are exempted from the 3 weeks paramilitary exercise that is compulsory and mandatory.
You are making
so why is it now compulsory for me?
Yes, you're making people
you wear trousers.
I don't I'm a Christian, but I do not believe it's wrong for women to wear trousers. I may believe something else is wrong. I may believe the food they're giving you before you,
if all these exemptions are going to come, I did tell you we're still going to have very, very interesting court rulings, because this LGBT community, everybody's going to come out.
That one is light years away in Nigeria.
Light years away, but it is still a beacon that is a light that is coming. It might not hit us now, but let me tell you.
It's surprising how they can spin this
and tell you that this is his right, and they might actually get judgment. Who knows?
So let's not forget that, again, I'll come back to it. We have to be careful in being selective. They quoted, if we can get the Bible verse back up, from Deuteronomy that they used in their appeal to the court. And it says a woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear women's clothing. For the Lord your God detests anyone who does so. What was the clothing they were wearing back then? What was the clothing that was designed to be men's clothing back then versus women's clothing? There's so much context.
No,
to
this one is a controversial thing. From the time I was young till now, it's been a controversy, and I'll say that evolution has brought a lot of things. What do you want Scottish men to do? Scottish men whose apparel is skirts.
They don't call them skirts.
They don't call
them
it skirt. It's kilts, but what is it designed? Is a wrap. It's a wrap skirt that is layered and pleated.
Yes, yes.
Well, I don't think anybody can get into this religious. If the court has ruled, congratulations to them. They fought a war and they won. This is a victory for the Christian
we'll await
community.
whatever NYSC has to say about this and whether NYSC will decide to take this further or not. But a statement, I think a statement needs to come out in the next week or so from the NYSC on their position on this particular ruling from the Federal High Court in Abuja. And then we'll see what happens from there. Yeah.
Okay.
We go on break.
It's time to go on a short break, and when we come back, we've got more stories. Don't worry, it's not about skirts or kilts, but we'll be back. Welcome back. It's still Jasiri. Now, one debate that has become a recurring decimal on Nigerian social media is the one about whether or not Lagos is smelly. Don't forget that not too long ago, the Lagos State government announced plans to bring back the monthly environmental sanitation exercise. It's a move that has sparked mixed reactions across the state. So, for this episode of Jasiri on the Street, we hit the streets of Lagos to find out, do residents think that Lagos is clean? And do we really need the monthly sanitation back? We'll hear what Lagosians have to say now.
For me, it's totally zero, because when you come out in the morning, you meet dirty everywhere.
Cleanliness in Lagos. As a matter of fact, I'll give Lagos 4. So, because Lagos is actually not clean. That's the truth. And it's not a problem of government. It's actually not a problem of government. It is the problem of the residents of Lagos.
I will rate it, let me say 8. Don't let me say 10. Just let me put it 8.
Well, I think that there's a disparity. You go to some areas in Lagos and they are very neat. And then you go to some areas and they are very dirty. So there's really no middle ground. We can say that things are getting better from the days of heavily blocked drainages. But the population of Lagos is so huge that it doesn't even make a difference, because people are still dumping rubbish, especially in the rainy seasons when they think the floods will take them away. So if you balance it all out, the metropolis is not looking as clean as you would expect a state as Lagos to look.
When you look at Lagos, there are some areas that when you get to, you can still say, okay, they are clean. But we'll get to some area. Now, let's look at, we are in Bega now. You can see everywhere around dirty. You will see people throwing things from the moving vehicle. You will see people dumping refuse beside the road.
I think if you are going to put an edict in place, you should put pecuniary measures in place too. And then the people who will execute the pecuniary measures must be people who cannot be corrupted. For example, if we say keep the streets clean, if you drop a bit of rubbish, there's a garbage nylon in my bag right now. I used it far away in Ogun State, and I'm taking it home because I cannot drop it on the street. I could actually show you. It's funny. It's rubbish, as in a pack of milk and cracked eggs. But I cannot drop it, and I can't find any refuse. So if we're going to do this, we're going to put refuse bins on the streets. They need to be metal and encased in the ground.
I will advise him that you should bring back sanitation, and also if they are bringing it back, they should place a law on it. So if anybody goes against the law, there should be a penalty, maybe penalty form or so. So I feel that one will be okay, because through this dirty and every other thing, many people fall you. I mean, I'm this kind of person that I don't like dirty. I'm this kind of person that is neat and everything. So if they can bring it back and save the little children that are growing up, I think it would be better.
If you want to live in Lagos, we have to come together to make Lagos our own. I'm from Ondo State, you understand? But as a matter of fact, as a resident of Lagos, I'm expected to pay my tax. Once I pay my tax, I'm expected to also do one or two things as well. So all those things that we need to do, which inclusive of this cleanliness, the sanitation of a thing, should be comprehensive. Everybody has to be involved. That's the truth. So if you are not doing it, you should be penalized for it.
You know what they say about cleanliness, and that's what they had to say, the Lagosians had to say about whether Lagos is clean or not. I don't think anybody outrightly said Lagos is dirty.
Do you want to be caught?
You know, we know what it is.
Is it that we don't want to tell ourselves the truth? There are areas in Lagos that are not treated the same. There's an inequality in how certain things happen or are done in different areas of the state.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, there are places that I go that if I have to wind down my window, I can't lie. But I also see what the state is doing. And it's like there's an absolute lack of acknowledgement that there's progress and the state is trying, but there's an absolute lack of acknowledgement as to our individual roles. My respect to that woman who's carrying nylon from the state all the way back to Lagos, and she's taking it home. There's no, a lot of times it's either those big ones, those very big ones that they put in the middle of the street, or some small ones that already overfill and they've spilled out that is left. So there's even not much work done in encouraging the people to be responsible in throwing their things away. It can't be few and far between. And she made a point about encasing it in the ground, because what? If you don't encase it, the same people you're trying to help will still steal it.
You know what, I would like to you. I take sometimes I like to, dial back to the time that Fashola was the governor of Lagos State. I wouldn't lie to you. Lagos can be better.
Yes.
We have seen it better. I can't lie. We have seen it better. I remember that time that they had a campaign like plant a tree if you cut one. And all those Palm Grove area, you see beautiful trees were planted, and there were a lot of beans around. That was when we had those large beans that were in strategic places. And I don't know why. I know the state is really trying, because I see the effort, but it seems not to be translating as I would expect. I live far away on the island, and I cannot lie to you. The streets, the middle places on the express that separates each lane is becoming dump sites again. Something that used to be in the, in time past that everybody frowned at. Now, there are dump sites everywhere. And yet I still see the trucks going around, picking up refuse. And where is the...
Because there's so many of us, we're generating so much waste that the system
they need to penalize the people.
It's not able to keep up.
I think they need to make us more responsible. You know, when there is a deterrent, when you are disgraced or something. Sometimes Nigerians they are goats and cow. They don't listen, except to use something that is come down hard on them in an embarrassing manner. That's when everybody will not start to... I remember that time that they used to put on the walls, "Don't urinate here."
But people, right under it is where
people pee. But I remember the time that there was all these task force people. If they catch you, the disgrace alone would deter you from doing that again.
I like the one, I don't know what country it was, where they go around in like a water container. With a water container, so if they catch you spraying if it catch you urinating on the wall, they spray you water. As in they douse you from head to toe. I always believe in these situations like it's community service and it must be immediate. It's not go and come. As you're caught like this, you owe the government and you owe the city of Lagos 8 hours of community service.
Imagine when you're done, they make sure that you collaborate with them with your punishment on your social media handle.
Yes.
Imagine they see you using nylon to pack dirt and poop on the road. You will never do it. You will become an advocate of cleanliness, and they make sure that once they record you, you will collaborate with them on the post.
And I honestly agree with, you know, that lady who said she had a
nylon trash bag.
But honestly, it's not sustainable, because how many people, imagine she was going for a job interview or somewhere where, you know, she couldn't, even if they don't check your bag, you just feel like...
Yeah, but when she gets to that place, she might actually see a bead to
drop. So that's the thing. I mean, I remember when I was in school, I went to a Catholic school, and if they find you in the uniform dropping anything, they take you to the convent to go and work. So it was ingrained in us, right? Yes, even I had that. But at some point, you know, I would get home and I would see trash all over. It was so bad in me that when I'm working with my friends, at some point they would even be like, they treated me like a goat, like they'll just be throwing it and I'll be picking it after them. And then I get home and I see my entire bag is filled with trash. So imagine if after every mile you walk, you see someone who can trash it. You know, I think that would help. I know that Nigerians are stubborn, but at least...
And not even this time that the rains are here. I know that Lagos State government have really done a lot before this rain started to educate people about throwing trash in the bin.
But they still do it. The day they clear it, they leave. People start going back.
They go back there.
There's a...
Honestly, like that lady said, if we can get enforcers that are not corrupt, that would make sure that these rules are enforced adequately, regardless of who you are, then maybe we might see a little bit of change. You know, it takes a lot of things to change a mentality. Because the rewiring of our mind is not just about the punishment in the now. It's how to ingrain it in your mental space that this is wrong. That even when children see it, they will just follow. You won't need to teach them. It's just like telling me, how do you teach children to put spoon to mouth? They just watch you.
You know, and so I'm big on community service. In a way, I feel like maybe this is our generation, if you want it, but I also think that you need to teach them young. So if you're saying, while you're working on the, what do you call it, corrective behavior with the adults, teach the children the right behavior, then put the implements in place. So as you're growing, you're telling them they need to be looking for bins. The state is putting out the bins. So you're not, maybe by then, in 10 years, you'll phase out a generation that thinks that the land is theirs. They can just throw it anywhere. But it's a dual, it's not a one-size-fits-all. We need to find an answer that prepares a new generation, that corrects and punishes adults who are doing it now, so that we phase.
Because that's not like, even parents, you see a woman working with a child, and the child's like, Mommy, where's that?
You see, like, in fact, I had to accost one child. I said, why are you pouring this? It was
that's what
when I went to Oyo.
That's what the child was taught.
He said, and I was pointing to him that you could see that child had no answer for me.
And
because
it made no
it was his parents that gave him that, and they've been doing it every time.
And we
Nigerians can't go to Singapore where chewing gum is an offense that you can go to prison for.
But we know how to comport in Singapore.
And we have this disgusting, as long as it's not in my vicinity mindset. So, as long as the water is taken away from where I am, then it's not my concern.
It's a different thing. We have to see what happens to it. As of the time that Lagos State said they were going to bring back the monthly sanitation, we still haven't heard about when it's going to resume and the modalities about that. So we'll continue to follow that. But very quickly, one final thing for you guys before we wrap things up today. And this is, of course, a conversation that is about prison reform. And that has once again been brought to the fore with a critical component: education behind bars. With inmates expected to reintegrate into society after serving their time, stakeholders say their chances of success depend heavily on the kind of education and rehabilitation that they receive while they are behind bars. News Central's Bernard Akede took the time out for this report.
Reimagining education for justice-impacted persons. This was the central theme as stakeholders gathered at the Kirikiri Medium Prison to discuss the pressing need for improved learning conditions within Nigeria's correctional system. For many inmates, life after prison is a difficult adjustment, particularly when they lack the skill or qualification needed to thrive.
I discovered that a lot of incarcerated persons actually want to take advantage of education in prison, but the opportunity is just not there. So I saw this gap, and then we introduced our educational program. There are people who, while they are here, they've been able to get their degrees, have their masters, have PhD. They are here. They write exams every year. They are students of National Open University, and we just really hope that they can start putting them into considerations when issues of education in the nation is actually being discussed.
But gaining education in prison comes with significant challenges, from limited infrastructure and poor funding to societal stigma and the lack of policy support, as explained by Gideon, who spent 6 years behind bars in Ghana.
The education is limited. If I say limited, the accessibility is limited. Only some few people that get access to the education, because in Ghana we have 49 prisons, but only in some medium security that has upgraded to university level.
Despite these barriers, there are stories that prove education in prison can be transformative. One of such is Valentine, who became an author of several books.
I was incarcerated for 21 years. These years are the pivotal age of my life, from the age of 19. And the lesson I learned most in the journey is, for me, it's a journey of purpose for me. And because at a point, by divine providence, it says death does not threaten a man on purpose. So for me, I discovered purpose in that journey. It's a great lesson for me that has helped me so far to where I am in life today.
You know, when you talk about education, it's not just exam. What about the process down there? You know, making adequate provision with regards to education as a rehabilitation initiative, right, to help the inmates to become better persons. You know, like I always say, 95% of incarcerated persons are coming out. Education is one of the most powerful ways to change their mind, to transform their mind, and help them to be hopeful and productive.
As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And for those behind bars, it could be the very tool that transforms their lives beyond confinement. In Lagos for News Central, Bernard Akede.
Listening to him say he was behind bars for 21 years. From the age of 19, he's out, he's an author. It's because he got education behind bars. Hearing that some of them get their masters and their PhDs, there is the potential and possibility for reintegration and rehabilitation. But you were asking a question, where are all these happening?
Where? Because I've been to Kirikiri a lot of times for evangelism and all those kinds of things that my NGO does. But I'm just saying that there's so much we need to do inside the prisons, Tolu. Correctional center. I will call it prison now, because if it's correctional center, there are things you need to put in place. The one in Kirikiri, they have just one functional hall that does everything.
That serves as everything.
Serves as everything. It's their church, it's their meeting place, it's the place you go to. How about libraries? I see prisons abroad where you can actually go into libraries. Yeah. They have a laundry room where they can, you know, do skills, input kitchen. I'm like, I know a lot of people don't say, I actually, hey God, there's some things I see that is a bit beyond me. Imagine if prisoners can sell Indomie, sell noodles inside prison. I'm like,
because somebody's funneling in underground railroad. Is that the concern?
But if we do have functional facilities, they have space that they can build facilities, so that if you're a prisoner, you can actually go to the library.
Or you learn a trade.
You learn a trade. There's a skill acquisition center. Even people that want to volunteer to help, they have somewhere to go. Not that every time we go for these things, you have to bring canopy to be able to... People that even their living arrangement is still horror.
I mean, I think another conversation we're not having is the stigma, because especially in Nigeria, no matter how you tell people that, oh, I have my PhD, okay, fine, just don't come here. Do you get, oh, impressive initiative, but we don't want them around here. So I think that we need to also create awareness to destigmatize, if there's anything like that, you know, that concept of, okay, you've been to the correctional center, so you are not worth anything, you cannot work for anybody, you are dangerous to society.
Look at that young man. If you had seen him outside, if he had not told you what his antecedent, would you have believed?
But I always say this, before we talk about working on the correctional centers, let's work on the legal side of things. If you get to that guy's case now, 21 years,
he might just be awaiting trial or innocent.
Or something else. Or, we'll leave it at that for today, but hopefully some of these stories have given you some food for thought. It's a Monday, the last Monday in July, about 150-something days till December 31st of 2025. And we have a lot of things to definitely be looking out for. So don't forget to stay with us. We have great conversations coming your way this week and every other week right here on Just 3. Have a great one. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.